Welcome to the Victorian Wall Garden here in the Phoenix Park in Dublin. We're surrounded by the fruit and vegetable garden, and a nice little tip for viewers is the use of the fine mesh here on the carrot crop. So you can see the young seedlings of carrots just been sown and just germinating, and the small micro fleece helps to keep the carrot root fly, which is a pest of carrots, off the actual crop itself. So it's a very neat way of organically protecting your plants in your own garden. The other nice little tip I see here in the garden is the use of the small signs, the white signs with the name of the plant, the dill or the chives or the borage. So for your own garden, it's a nice little tip when you're sowing the seed of plants to make sure you write down the name of the plant and put it in front of it. But for today, I'm going to show you how to plant up your own edible planter. I'm going to put in a mixture of plants that you can grow in any tub or container. It's a great thing to get the children involved with as well, because the children that grow strawberries eat strawberries. And remember that many plants are suitable for growing in containers, like tomato plants. This is a small tomato called Red Profusion. It produces literally hundreds of fruit in a small container like that. And strawberries do really well. You can see the strawberry forming already on this particular hanging basket. So remember, lots of edible plants can be grown not only in the garden soil, but they can also be growing in hanging baskets and containers. The key ingredient is get a good quality compost, and the compost I'm using today is from Bord na Móna. It's the Grow Wise compost. To that, I'm going to add some slow release fertilizer, just mixing that into the soil. Slow release fertilizer feeds the plant for up to 6 months, right through the growing season. And you just mix it on the surface of the soil like that, working it in. Simply mixing it in through the soil. Remember to leave the container, the compost, roughly about ½ an inch from the top of the surface of the container. That's important because when you water the container, this will act like a well and hold the moisture as it penetrates down into the compost itself. And then it's a mixture of planting up both flowers and edible plants. So for decorative purposes and to encourage the bees into the garden, and also as the sunflower produces its seed in the autumn, the birds will come in and feed off the actual seed. So we plant that right here in the center towards the back of the container for a little bit of color, but also to encourage some of the insect life to come into the garden. And then using a mixture of the cut and come lettuce. So this is a variety that produces both green and red foliage. You can see the green in the center, the red foliage on the edge, and you simply plant them into the compost, pressing them in like that, spacing them about 2 to 3 inches apart, putting them right into the compost. And rather than cutting the heads of lettuce during the summer, all you do is, when you want to harvest some lettuce leaves, is literally just peel the leaves off the plant. So just take them off like that, wash them and use them. Leave the plant to produce new leaves and continue to grow right through the summer period. You can also use edible plants like radish, which both the roots and the leaves of radish can be ate during the summer period. So again, I'm going to pop a couple of radish plants. Again, these could be peas. You could use any of the salad crops, onions, scallions, in a container like this. Remember that some flowers are also edible. So you have plants like the little violas that we have here, and others like nasturtiums that can actually be used as well. Both the flowers and the foliage are edible on violas. And again, you can use those in salads to dress them. You can use them in drinks to give a nice decoration to the drinks and to give some flavor. So they can be added here right at the front for a little bit of color, but also to be used as an edible plant. So again, a little bit of color here. And the last plant I'm going to add is the lemon-scented geranium. Now this plant is highly scented. It smells of lemons. And again, it can be used in salads, it can be used in soups to add a zesty pepper flavor. And again, we just plant this right at the front of the container, just pushing it in right here in the very front. And remember, the geranium will also come into flower as well, so the flowers and the leaves can be used. So everything in the container is edible, both the flowers, the lettuce and the radish plants, and the sunflowers adding color, but it'll also help to bring insects and wildlife into your garden.